Chapter 88, Imperishable Golden Body. For example, since most zombies didn't directly transform after their death, they no longer are the same person as they were alive. As for vampires that transform after being bitten by other vampires, they would be controlled by others and become their vassals, surrounded by the strange environment that was littered with corpses. The Crimson Demon continued talking about the promised benefits of the contract. As for you, if you accept the contract of the Hiderigami lineage, you can retain your consciousness by directly transforming into a zombie when you die. Your body will thus be immortal, and as long as you are not killed, you can basically live forever. Sanchi still was not very impressed by these terms. After all, the system had already guaranteed an immortal body for him. He pursed his lips. Everything you have mentioned is something I have no control over. What if I get beaten to death after I transform into a zombie? Well, you're not losing out if you accept this contract anyways, are you? The Crimson Demon retorted, if not for the fact that you cultivated a Dharma body at such a young age, I wouldn't have wasted my breath on convincing you to accept my contract. A realization dawned upon Sanchi. He probed, what if I still refuse? Then I will have to kill you. After that, I will bury your corpse underground and wait for you to turn into a zombie. The Crimson Demon's calm words and cruel actions made Sanchi break out in cold sweat. He was not afraid of death, but he was afraid that this guy would keep an eye out on his corpse. The resurrection point he set up was not far from here. He did not know if the other party would be able to discover it. Why don't you give me a token of yours? If I get an inclination to join the future, I'll look for you. Sanchi felt that he was not in a position to refuse and decided to take a step back. No way. People like you are very effective against the other disciples of the Heavenly Corpse sect. If I let you take my token and secretly kill other corpse cultivators, wouldn't I be your scapegoat? The Crimson Demon directly refused and said coldly, either you agree, or you turn into a corpse on the spot. And I plant you into the ground as a seedling to become my zombie. Good lord. He is so blunt in revealing what he wants. He really is an old demon. Sanchi thought, then asked curiously, how old is Senior? The latter was a little unhappy. He felt that this kid was changing the topic again. However, he still answered, I was a cultivator from the previous dynasty and had cultivated for 500 years then. After that, I have been a corpse cultivator for almost 2,000 years. Sanchi did not know how many times he had been rendered speechless. He commented awkwardly, Senior's cultivation speed. With that look, the Crimson Demon glared at Sanchi. Young man, you're really ignorant. To have an undying body in the path of corpse cultivation, destined to bear the shortcoming of slow cultivating speed. It's already not bad if I can break through one realm in 1,000 years. Sanchi muttered in his heart, it's still too low. My immortal body from the system can improve faster than this. He pretended to be enlightened and said, I see. I wonder how I should address you, Senior. Suqian. The Crimson Demon said his name and said, impatiently, I can't stand your nonsense anymore. Are you going to sign a contract with me, or do you want to die? A ring of fire appeared on his body and his powerful aura leaked out. It was so strong that Sanchi nearly fell to the ground. Forget it, I'll just force you. Suqian could not be bothered to seek Sanchi's consent any longer. He took out a golden scroll and opened it. There were dense runes engraved inside of it, forming a strange mark. After he chanted the incantation, the runes and marks immediately lit up, turning into a blood snake that flew out and shot straight towards Sanchi's heart. Sanchi had no time to dodge. After the blood snake entered his body, he felt a strange force spreading, making his blood boil. It his entire body was red, and a circle of powerful chi and a portion of his blood was stimulated. There seemed to be an endless stream of power gushing out of his heart, making him feel like he was about to explode. Instinctively, his Vajra Dharma body erupted with might. A circle of extreme yang power was released, seeking to expel the strange power. Good kid, you're actually cultivating a diamond Dharma body, which is top-notch in defense amongst the Dharma bodies. No wonder your body is strong. Suqian nodded in appreciation. Seeing Sanchi trying to force out the power of the contract, he chuckled. Don't waste your energy. This contract is made by too great of a power. Accept it obediently. It will be beneficial to you. As soon as he finished speaking, Sanchi's own power was directly suppressed. Then, familiar runes suddenly appeared on his body and condensed into a strange mark in his heart. When the contract left a mark on Sanxi's body, it emitted pure energy, making Sanxi feel as if he was being inflated from inside out. It was unbearable. "Kid, you're quite lucky to have met me. You have to know that the power of the Hidarigami doubt is also extremely yang and unyielding. Because of your own yang nature, it does not directly conflict with you. If it were any other fellow, they would have suffered greatly." Suqian chanted again, and the runes on Sanxi's body retracted and condensed in his heart. Then, the scorching power calmed down. Sanxi panted heavily and sat down. He said weakly, Didn't you say that it was a contract? How can you force yourself on me? What kind of contract is this? Who told you that the contract has to be approved by you? As long as I am strong, enslaving your soul is not a problem." Suqian placed his hands behind his back and said, indifferently, "Remember, if you need to fight with your life in the future, you can use the power of the contract by silently chanting the word Ba. It can allow your power to erupt and your strength will double. There's such a benefit." Sanxi immediately perked up. "Naturally, if you don't want to become a zombie alive, don't use it recklessly. After all, the power of the contract is a special curse. If you use it too much, it will deepen the corrosion of some of the spells that have been bound on you and you will become a zombie faster than expected." Suqian mentioned the negative effects. This immediately made Sanxi unhappy because he thought he had another trump card to use. After he heard this, his expression turned bitter. This contract was a double-edged sword. As expected, there was nothing normal or good about this kind of person. Don't mind it too much, you'll die sooner or later. Even if you don't die, you'll become decrepit. You'll be grateful to me in the future. Suqian smiled. If you can grow old normally, remember, when you're old, your qi will deteriorate and your body will weaken immensely. Remember to come to us in time. Otherwise, without our help, some unclean things will take the opportunity to destroy your consciousness and snatch your body away. Can I get rid of this thing? Sanxi frowned. If you're strong enough, you can, but I don't think you can do it. Suqian chuckled. He thought of something and threw out a slightly gray golden book. This body tempering technique will be very difficult for you to cultivate, but it has no flaws. If you have the ability to cultivate it to perfection, the curse will be nothing to you. With that said, Suqian pointed at the communication talisman in Sanxi's hand and turned it into ashes. Then, with a flash of fire, he disappeared. "Kid, I hope you can come to the Heavenly Corp sect alive in the future." The untethered voice echoed in Sanxi's ears, making him a little dazed. "What's going on? I was actually forced into a contract by a zombie." Sanxi did not know whether to laugh or cry. He lowered his head and picked up the golden book. When he saw the large words on the cover, his pupils constricted. Imperishable golden body. Sanxi looked at the dusty ancient book and was stunned again. No way. There's such a powerful cultivation technique. It's fake, it's definitely fake. It's just that its name is impressive. Suqian, who had already flown more than 10 kilometers, turned around and muttered, "I've finally thrown out the useless cultivation technique. This kid definitely won't be able to cultivate it, but he will be able to polish his body very well while trying to. When he turns into a zombie, he might be able to revitalize my Hidarigami lineage.